The new Marauders Brilliant Event Part 2 starts tomorrow. Let's talk about it. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
This event will go March 29th to April 2nd, 11 a.m. Pacific to 11 a.m. Pacific. Now, keep in mind this is different because it's only 5 days than we're used to for Brilliant events. In addition, it's a Monday through Friday, so it's all weekdays. There are no weekend days for this, which some of the tasks I feel might be easier or are easier because of that, but we'll get into that when we talk about the tasks. There's still a lot to do. The Brilliant Fandibles for this event are following the normal pattern. The first two are Brilliant Padfoot and Brilliant Young Remus Lupin, Padfoot being Sirius Black. So these two are going to be the wild Fandibles. You're going to see them as purple beams in the wild. And you're going to take 20 fragments to place their image, which if you want to place their image, you can place their image. And we'll talk about that when we get to the task. Next up is Brilliant Prongs. Prongs is going to come from port keys, so it's a guaranteed fragment. It will take you 5 fragments to place Prongs. Prongs, of course, is James Potter in his Animagus form. Next up is the Brilliant Marauders Map. That's going to come from a task reward. You'll just get that fragment, so then you can place that image, which again, you don't have to save any images this time, which is going to be fantastic. And last up is the Brilliant Cloak of Invisibility. You'll get that out of Fortresses. You'll need to use Brilliant Runestones from this event, and then you'll have a chance for this to drop. The higher the chamber you do in a fortress, the more likely you are to get this fragment to drop. Once you get 3 of them, you can actually place that image on the page. In addition, Werewolves, even though they're currently out anyway because there's a full moon at night, there should be an increased spawn rate throughout the event, even during the day, because there is a task revolving around werewolves. And the reason that task is even in there is because Remus Lupin being a werewolf, they're including werewolves during this event. As is usually the case, I'm not really going to go into the bundles too much. Just make sure you go claim your free bundle because it's free stuff, especially some free spell energy if you're low on that, or it'll max you out if nothing else. But don't forget to collect that sometime during the Brilliant event. Before we move on to the tasks themselves, this week I decided to use some images that were made by @Plotter101 HPWU, so @Plotter101 Harry Potter Wizards Unite, on Twitter. That's their handle. Anyway, they do a ton of great research and stuff like that. So if you're not already following them on Twitter, you should go follow them on Twitter. And came up with some great images for the tasks with little notes underneath, which I think is fantastic. So I'll be using Plotter 101's images for this video. So the first set of tasks starts out with collect 3 ingredients off the ground. Usually it's 2, but they made it 3 this time. Anyway, it gets you 6 Snowdrop, which are used for Extimulo potions. Followed by brew tonic for trace detection 2 times. It gets you a couple Rem Blood, which are also used for Extimulo potions. Now keep in mind this is brew, it's not used master notes. So you can actually brew these today or just leading into this task, and you can just collect them, just collect both of them as this event begins, and that'll meet the requirement for this. And last, you need to return 12 Brilliant Padfoot, which should be appearing in the wild, to get you a Brufio's Brain Elixir. So if you're not max level, that's great. If you are max level, then it's kind of a wasted reward. Once you do all that, you are going to get 2 restricted section books, as well as some spell energy and family experience and regular wizarding experience, but mainly it's those 2 restricted section books most people are after. Moving on to the second set of tasks, the first thing you need to do is use Master Notes 4 times. It's going to get you 1 regular Extimulo potion. Now in this case, you actually have to use Master Notes, so you can't brew things in advance coming into this step. You actually will have to enter the Master Notes as you go along. So you should choose something short so that you know you can get through this quicker, especially with it being a 5-day event. You really want to go through even faster, which would be, again, regular Extimulos, regular healing potions are going to have that shorter brew time that you should be able to make your way through this a little bit quicker than other potions. Defeat 7 werewolves. It's going to get you 1 toadstool. Now this is what I was talking about, as werewolves should be appearing not just at night, they should be appearing more often. They are going to be a yellow flare above a purple oddity. So just be on the lookout for those during the day, and you should be able to finish this task out, hopefully with an increased spawn rate quickly. Collect 5 Brilliant Runestones. It's going to get you 1 Dark Detector. Now these are Brilliant Runestones from this event. So as you gain family experience for this event, returning those Brilliant Padfoots, the rewards from the previous step, you just don't want to go into the event registry because every time you rank up, you get a runestone, so you need to rank up 5 times. If you've collected enough Padfoot and probably got some other stuff along the way, other purple beams that aren't Padfoot, In addition to maybe running some fortresses if you decide to do that, any of that stuff that gains family experience, you should be pretty well along to getting 5 of them as long as you don't open your registry before you get to this step. Once you get to this step, you can open up your registry and then you might need to build up a little more. But hopefully you've gotten enough family experience to go ahead and get 5 runestones from this event. Moving on to the third set of tasks, cast 5 great spells in a row. It gets you a silver key. So in this case, they do need to be greats in a row. You can't fail on one. So for this one, I guess you're definitely going to want to pick something that is a spell you're good at and then really just get your greats in and try to not click on anything else that has a spell you can't do. In fact, don't forget you can go into a foundable and once you see the spell, if you're not sure what it is, if it's something you're terrible at, then you can definitely back out and then just click on a different foundable to make sure you're getting those spells that you at least know you can get greats at. Keep in mind, it doesn't actually matter if you return the foundable. You just need to get those 5 great casts in a row. So potentially you could actually go after a single foundable and have a great cast and it doesn't return, great cast, great cast, great cast, and then the last one, maybe you return it, and that's gonna be your 5 in a row. But as soon as you get one that's not great, it kind of breaks the chain and you're starting back over from 1 again. Defeat 15 foes in a fortress. It gets you 6 ginger root. This one's not too bad. It's any foes, so just go into the fortress, whatever level you want. I might go into runes 2, which gives me 2 foes usually at a time, and just run that 7, 8 times, and then I get up to that 15 foes. Return 12 brilliant Remus Lupin. It gets you 2 wit sharpening potions. Again, this is the other main foundable from the second part of the event. There'll be other purple flared foundables around, but you should see a decent number of Remus Lupins, so go ahead and just collect until you get all these. Once you do all that, you are going to get 5 restricted section books, as well as some spell energy and the other stuff. And I actually forgot to mention, in the second set of tasks, you actually got 3 restricted section books there. For the new players, if you didn't know, any of these brilliant events, you're always getting 15 restricted section books if you finish everything. They've just set it up that way. So with 2 brilliant events, it's 15 and 15, it ends up being 30 restricted section books a month that you really should be putting into your profession tree first. You really want to max out whatever profession you are. Whether R, professor, or magizoologist, you would want to max that out first. That's my best recommendation for what to do with these restricted section books. Moving on to the last set of tasks, sort of. Earn 6,000 wizarding experience from fortresses. So you do have to go on the night bus, or you could go to your local fortress, I suppose. If you're able to get out and about on the night bus, you're going to be able to team up with people if you want. It's going to get you 1 spell book. This is wizarding experience, not challenge experience, because fortresses give you both. Wizarding experience is what helps you level up, you know, from 1 to 60, wherever you are. So that means that Barufios, if you decide to use a Barufios, that will make this task go faster. And fortresses do give you more wizarding experience than challenge experience, so 6,000 shouldn't take you too long. Cast 4 masterful spell casts. That's going to get you 1 red spell book. This is not in a row. You just need to do 4 masterfuls in general. So hopefully some of the increased foundables that are coming out, at least one of them is a spell that you're a little better at, so you can get those masterfuls. But at least if you cast a masterful and then get some bad ones, it's okay. That's still going to count 1 toward these 4. So just keep trying until you get those 4, and then you'll complete this step. Collect 15 Mysterious Note Fragments. That's going to get you 2 spellbook. Now these drop from Brilliant Traces, so any purple beam should be dropping it. That's how it's supposed to work, at least. Now it's not guaranteed, but it seems to be a decent amount. I definitely, every time I've done one of these events, I tend to get them more often than I don't get them. And if you don't want to miss any story text, keep in mind, after you return the first Mysterious Note Fragment, they're probably going to have something to say, whether it's Hermione or Harry or Constance or whoever's doing the text talking about the story. Then after the 5th note, they usually have some more story, and then after the 10th note, they have some more story. And then usually after the 10th note, they've kind of figured out the note, but they make you collect 5 more fragments anyway, so then you have your 15 and you finish this. Now once you do that, you'll actually kind of finish the tasks. It'll say you finished the event. Back out, it'll immediately say we have some bonus tasks for you, so let's talk about those. Oh wait, I forgot. There is two other things that kind of need to be said. Number 1, in the rewards there, you do get 5 Defense Against the Dark Arts books, along with 5 restricted section books, which gets you up to the 15 restricted section books that I talked about. You also get awarded that 1 fragment of the Brilliant Marauders Map, so you can place that image. And they're giving us 5 fragments of the Brilliant Prongs, which is interesting because that is the port key foundable. And I guess they are doing this. I thought it was a mistake maybe during the first event, because they did that, the first part of this Brilliant event, that they gave you all 5. And essentially it's for people that can't get outside. Maybe you still are, you know, restricted in your movement, so you can't go out and walk port keys. They're going to give you those 5 fragments at the end of this 4th set of tasks, so you can place that image. So as I pop up the bonus tasks next to me, you will notice on the bonus tasks, as well as on task 4 just a second ago, you did not see the place 5 images. They actually have taken it out. I've kind of harped on this. It's been my little pet peeve the last couple months on these brilliant events, is that they kept putting the place images kind of in the wrong spot. You didn't have all 5 images. They've removed it entirely from this, which I am completely fine with. It may just be because we've got this shortened time, although I don't see that taking more time placing images. It's still just kind of a pain. And I hope going forward they continue to keep it removed and maybe have some of these other tasks instead. Speaking of the bonus tasks, defeat 15 formidable foes. That's going to get you 2 strong Extimula potions, and you can even see in the notes there. This is what I do like about Plotter 101 stuff. It's just little advice. Plotter 101 recommending go to Ruins 3 up to Tower 2. Around those areas are where you're going to see formidable foes. Again, it is random. You may go into a fortress and have none, and you may go into a fortress. Sometimes I've gone into, I think it's Tower 2 actually, and if you get 3 foes, it's possible for all 3 of them to be formidable, which the last event we needed formidable stuff. That happened to me a couple times, and it really helped me dig in to getting toward that 15. If you're wondering what a formidable foe is, whenever you see a foe in a fortress, it's going to have 5 stars available, kind of blank spaces for stars, and that can be a 1 star, a 2 star, a 3 star, a 4 or 5. It is the 2-starred foes. When they have 2 stars filled in, that is formidable. Now, once you go to fight them, it'll say it up top as well. But while you're just looking at which foes to choose, if you're wondering if it is, the 2-starred are formidable foes. Returns 40 brilliant foundables for 10 spell energy. Any purple beams, you just need to return them. Keep in mind, placing images doesn't matter for this. It's just returning those foundables. So with 40, you just need to go after everything you see and just over the time, just get those 40. Tonic for trace detection, of course, should produce more of these, not only these exclusively, but a tonic for trace detection should help you with this as well. And it's nice that you're not looking for anything specific, so no matter which brilliant pops up, it's going to count toward this. Earn 10,000 wizarding experience will get you another red spell book, which is great for that combat adversary tree. And you shouldn't even have to focus on this one too much. If you're doing the other tasks, if you're defeating formidable foes in a fortress, if you are returning brilliant foundables, 40 of them, you're going to get up to 10,000. If you really want it to go faster, a Barufios does help you get there faster, because you essentially only need to get 5,000 because it'll double it and then you'll be at 10,000. Use 10 Extimulos, which gets you a silver key. It should be any Extimulos. You should be able to use regular, strong, or potent. Now, it should be allowed to be used anywhere, and the only time we really use Extimulos these days, or the only time I do, is generally for adversaries. So I am hoping to do some adversary battles, and actually Plotter put that note that hope there's some adversaries, and if not, use some small ones. And that's exactly how I handle it too. If I am going to have to use it in a fortress or something, I'll just chuck regular Extimulos in, maybe to make things just go a little bit faster. If you're low on energy, Extimulos can help with you not having to use as much, so there is that payoff, but it is a bummer to waste Extimulos when you really don't need them. And the werewolves make a return. Defeat 10 werewolves. It will get you 1 Barufios brain elixir. Again, if you're max level, it really isn't doing you much good, but if not, the Barufios, of course, is going to help you. And you could actually do this task first, potentially, and then use that Barufios to get that 10,000 wizarding experience faster. And werewolves, reminder, are the purple oddities. They're going to have a yellow beam. There's other things. Urklings can actually be like that, so at night you might see that and it might turn out to be an Urkling. But during the day, it pretty much should be that during this event. You don't see a lot of those during the day at all. Once you do all that, you're going to get some wizarding experience and a bunch of other stuff, but really the 5 Defense Against the Dark Arts books is the big reward from completing these bonus tasks. You'll also notice there's not 5 fragments of the port key foundable. There's not 5 more prongs. The last part of the Brilliant event, part 1, actually gave us 5 fragments at the end of the tasks, as well as 5 more fragments here. I am happy with the shorter event that they're giving those fragments then, because some people may not be able to finish everything, but if they can make it through the 4th set of tasks, it means they can at least fill out all their images based on that. Instead of having to also complete the bonus tasks with this shortened time, it can be more difficult. And we haven't actually had it like this, so we'll see how much trouble people have, in addition for it not being on weekend days. Not too much to do to prepare for this event. If anything, I would just say have a couple tonic for trace detections ready before the event begins. So if you start brewing them when you see this video, they should be done by the time this event starts. And Keep in mind, we're still in the middle of the adversary event. The adversary event ends at 11 Pacific, and then this event starts, so it literally just switches right over to the next event. Once again, thank you to at Plotter101 HPWU on Twitter for putting out these images and for all the other research that you're always putting out. I do love to see that stuff. As always, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Nox.